Hi there, my name is Kgadi Mmanakana, your partner in gaining competitive advantage and the only possibilitarian. Today the category is braving disruption. Today is all about answering the question, what do we do in the face of disruption? When you're faced with crisis, disruption, change, transformation, rude awakening, when you've been dealt a bad hand, what do you do? And the answer is this: you brave the call to embrace and adapt to change as quickly as you can. Right. And I'm going to share with you 2 things that you could do. Exactly what to do in the face of disruption. We already know, we've already established that we live in a constantly changing world. No one, no business or industry or sector is safe. We are all prone to disruption, so we might as well just prepare ourselves for the impending disruption. We don't know what it's gonna be. Someday they may know, like it could be a surprise, but what we know for sure is that this is a constantly changing world. We're operating in a disruption-prone market. So today I want to share with you 2 things that you can do, exactly how to respond when you're in the face of disruption, right? The first thing is this: when a disruption hits, it could be anything. It could be the 4th industrial revolution, it could be metaverse, it could be the pandemic, it could be anything, right? The first thing you don't do is react. We don't react blindly. You do not. Because once you go blindly without the information and all that, you may just jump and then you fall to your death. It could happen and you get out of business. You could really take flight and then get out of business. So the first thing you're gonna do is sit down and really think and remember your value proposition. It is important for you as a leader, as an organization, to know your value proposition. What is your customer value proposition? And here's why it's important for you to always have it in the back of your mind what your value proposition is. Say a disruption hits, say the pandemic hits, right? And the lockdown, the economy is quarantined, right? The importance of knowing your value proposition is this. When the pandemic hits, say for example, you need to ask yourself what this disruption, what kind of pain is this disruption inciting on our customers? How is this disruption affecting negatively or positively affecting our customer value proposition? And customer value proposition goes back to your target market. What kind of pain are they experiencing? Is this disruption challenging the value proposition in your product and service portfolio that you've been offering your customers? Remember, during the pandemic, there were some product and services and industries that were regarded as non-essential and those that were that were deemed essential. So how is that affecting you as a leader? And for you to know what move you should be taking, you need to understand your value proposition, your customer value proposition. So you need to know your value proposition so that you can ask yourself, how is this disruption affecting my customer value proposition, right? Within a positive way or a negative way. How is this disruption creating pain, inciting pain on my customers, or creating further troubles, problems for my customers? Why do you need to know that? So that you can know how you can repackage your customers. How you can repackage your value proposition, your products for your customers. People always say that crisis creates opportunity. There are lots of businesses and brands that were created during disruptions and the times of chaos and crisis, right? So you need to look at the disruption and analyze how it is affecting your customer. Whether as far as the value proposition that you're currently offering to them, will this affect that? Will they stop? Will there be price value perception, just like in the times of COVID when there was lockdown? What other opportunities is this crisis or disruption creating for you, like in terms of product opportunities, or maybe what kind of value can you leverage from this disruption, or what kind of threats is this disruption creating for you and your customers? So you can never know if a disruption is good for you or bad for you if you do not know your value proposition. So it's important to go back to the drawing board during a disruption and ask yourself, what is my customer value proposition? So that you understand where you're being hit hard, the opportunities and threats. The second thing that you got to do in the face of disruption is to have a big picture and to never lose that big picture. Here's what's happening. This world I've been observing it is like, if you're not careful, if you don't have a big picture, if you do not have a big picture, you'll just continue being in the pursuit of securing the bag. And if you do not know what the bag looks like, yeah, right? We're talking about securing the bag and all that, but if you do not know, you don't have clarity on what that bag looks like, you're gonna kiss the frogs. You're gonna be on a very dizzy ride. So as a leader, you need to have a big picture. Whether it's the big picture for your own division, department, or organization, depending on the level of leadership that you occupy, right? You need to have a big picture. What is your vision for your team, for your organization, for your position, for the role that you're playing? What is the vision of the organization that you're working in? What are you working on? And the importance of having a vision, it's because disruptions do not change visions. They can rather disrupt your strategy. When a disruption hit, it may require you to change your strategy, but you don't have to change your vision or your mission. Your mission and vision remain constant. Those are the only constants. But when you see somebody moving from, we see this all the time. One moment you see somebody being an expert in cryptocurrency. Tomorrow, when there is the new wave of the metaverse, they're the expert in metaverse. Tomorrow is ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, they're the expert in that. Tomorrow, they're the expert in network marketing or whatever it is. This person, this leader doesn't know where they stand. They do not have a big picture. If you, as a leader, you do not know what your vision is, what you're working towards as an organization, you're gonna be on a dizzy ride. Whenever somebody who is in their basement come up with a new disruptive app or a new disruptive thing and then it catches fire, you're gonna be hopping from one thing to the next. Tomorrow is gonna be metaverse. Tomorrow is gonna be whatever the next thing, whatever the flavor of the month, of the flavor of the season is gonna be, and you're gonna be jumping and then losing money in the process, losing your way in the process, and just losing your essence as a brand and losing your relevance. So you need to know, to have a big picture and remember it at all times. Here's one thing, one unpopular thing I would say to you is that you don't really have to be a tech-enabled business. I know that this is the world of digital transformation and all that, but if your organization is thriving right now, if you're catching the bag right now, if you're thriving, the organization is thriving without the app, you don't need to have the app. It's okay to not have the app. Did you know that it is okay to not have the app? I know that today we're talking about, machine learning, artificial intelligence and things like that. And they're very good. They're very good because they optimize your business and things like that. What I'm trying to say is that you do not have to do everything that is being suggested in the market. Because lots of these things that are being suggested, besides it being the imagination, the wild imagination of people, creative people who come up with new things and make up things up, sometimes it's just people who need clients. They just create a problem and then they create a back-end solution. They're just testing and testing. So you do not want to fall for the prototypes, things that are not well yet formed, coming up it's the new wave of something. It's the new wave of something. Have your ground. Be anchored as a leader. Be anchored as an organization. This actually reminds me of an incident I had with my friend. I remember it's not long I actually tried kiwi fruit, and after just swallowing a piece of it, and I started gagging, and I was so pissed, and I told myself that I will never ever have this again. And she was like, you have to try it again so that I can get used to it. And I was like, no, I don't have to do that. I can just stick to my banana, mangoes, peaches. Those are my favorite fruits. I can just live without testing the other stuff. And that's just the analogy of it all. You don't have to try everything. If I love opera music and choral and classic music, I don't have to get into piano music or genre because it is the thing right now. I don't have to do that. You don't have to adapt to the new flavor of the month just because it's the thing right now. You don't need to be relevant. You don't need it. Assess if it's really a necessity. Some things are just money bleeders. So just like the fruit, just like the musical genre, you don't have to. You can just live. You don't have to live your life and testing everything, all the music genres no. You can stick to the thing that works for you. Because if you become the person who hops from everything, who's testing everything, you're going to lose focus and you're going to lose the bigger picture. Remember your bigger picture as a leader, as an organization, and stick to that. Whenever there's a new wave of disruption, whatever comes, look at it and see if it is helping your vision, your big picture. If it's going to optimize that, if it's going to get you any closer to it, or if it is posing any threat to your bigger picture. And only then can you actually, adapt it. The key thing to do, you do not adapt first. The key thing, the steps is that you analyze it. You analyze the disruption, right? And then you discern whether this is good for you or bad for you, or if it actually even matters. And then from there you can decide whether you're going to throw it or you're going to adopt it, right? And how do you do that? If you do not have an internal, research team or, thought leaders and all that, you can invite in an expert on that particular subject and then ask them, what does this disruption mean for me as a leader, for our organization, for our industry? What does the future look like? And then from there, if it really doesn't matter for you, if it really doesn't harm you, it's okay to not be part of the wave. You don't have to be part of the wave, right? If it's not gonna affect your business and touch your big picture, then it's okay to not be involved in that. You don't have to kiss the frogs. You can just stick with your Prince Charming, your Prince Charming person, right? Stick to your lane, stick to what is working. That's it. So those are the two things that you should do in the face of disruption. As you brave disruptions, because we all know that it is coming. There is a storm that is coming. Whatever the storm is going to be, remember to know your value proposition and remember to have a big picture and to never lose it. Until next time.